Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Stop, Look, and Listen. I'm your host, LeTroy Gardner. This week, we have Trinidadian-born and Montreal-raised singer-songwriter, rapper, Trinisha Brown. Welcome to the show, Trinisha.
Thank you for having me.
How you feeling today?
Feeling good.
Oh, great. So, like we said, we got Rhythm and Love debut album out. How does it feel?
It feels good. It's a great accomplishment.
All right, cool. So just take us to the beginning. Kind of give us like an introduction into who you are, like where you came from and how we got here.
Well, my name is Trinisha Brown. I'm a Montreal-based artist. I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago, moved to Canada when I was 11 years old. I got into music around the age of 12, 13 with a group that was based in Montreal called Black Gloves. And I was a part of the group. We were a collective of artists that make music. Some were singers, some were rappers and whatnot. And over time we separated, but we all kept doing music regardless. I branched out, stayed independent for quite some time, and here we are today. Now I'm
Great. All right, so kind of get into like you left the collective, you went solo. Talk about the journey and how long it took for you to find your sound and your voice as an artist.
It took me a while. I was experimenting with tri-hop, all types of music, UK funk, all types of stuff. It took me a couple years to find my sound. When I first heard Afro music, I fell in love with it because it gave me a feel of like dancehall and still something like a Caribbean type of vibe, but something more tribal at the same time. And I said, I want to try this genre of music. I just don't know where to start. And the first song I ever recorded was Lockdown, which is on my Good Vibes Only Volume 1 project. And ever since then, it's been Afro music for me.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about the similarities in the sound between Afro beats and Caribbean music. Like, how do you distinguish between the two, especially the fact that you're sort of doing a hybrid of both?
Afro music has more elements to it than Caribbean music. Afro music has a lot of melodies and songs. Caribbean music is more like hard hitting, fast, upbeat. But you'll hear organs, you'll hear saxophones in Afro music, especially the saxophone. A lot of beats have the saxophone in it. And that's the difference between the two for me.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into Rhythm and Love. 13 tracks. Perfect time for it to come out right before the summer. The album touches on themes of love, mental health, and the struggles of being an artist. Can you elaborate on how these themes manifest throughout the album?
Basically, I was going through a rough time when I wrote the album. I was in a mental institution because I was diagnosed with manic depression, which I'm still doing follow-ups for and taking medication for. And I write most of my music each time I go to the hospital. It's a form of therapy for me. So each time I have an episode and I end up back in the hospital, I usually take a book and a pen with me. And I will start listening to beats and I start writing new songs. And as soon as my doctor lets me out for like a day or two to see how I do on my own, I started recording because I have a home studio at my house. So I started recording the songs. I started recording the songs last summer, and I didn't even think it was gonna be an album. All I knew was I wanted to make sure I get these songs recorded because I've never came up with anything like this before, and I can't miss the opportunity to get the song and turn it into something that's real, turn it into reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. So the mental health and struggles to make ends meet. That's basically my day-to-day life. You know, not being the average 9 to 5 worker, but more so relying on my craft to bring in income for me. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, like as far as it's commendable, for you to, be open and transparent about your obstacles and overcoming them. Are there still, as an artist and going through this process of interviews and live performances, are there still obstacles you feel like you have to overcome?
Definitely, because the journey never ends. There's always obstacles in life. Even when things get better or things get great, there's always something that happens, you know. Obstacles come in, trials and tribulations. You can't escape that. You can't escape that. It's part of life. So I always have obstacles in life to overcome, no matter how good my life is.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's touch on the single "Bad Team," written by yourself and Jovian.
Jovian,
Jovian, and produced by Grandmaster Claddy.
yeah,
Um, yeah, just talk about the inspiration behind Bad Thing. Like I heard when you heard the beat, you just instantly became inspired. Just talk about that.
yeah. The melodies just came rushing to me, and the subject matter was based off like, an attractive female that is considered like a bad chick. I call it thing instead of saying chick or the B word. I just call it thing because where I'm from, we can refer to a female as a thing sometimes in Trinidad. So I called it bad thing. Uh, when we sent out the when we sent out the music for Jovian to hear about 3 songs because we wanted some features on the album. We sent out 3 singles to Jovian, and he chose to get on Bad Thing because he felt the vibe.
Dr. Todd McLean provides periodontal and dental implant services in 2 convenient locations. They offer over a decade of experience treating patients, and appointments can even be scheduled in the evenings, weekends, or early mornings. Give them a call in Chapel Hill at 919-537-9774 or in Durham at 919-484-8338 or visit them online at gumsandimplants.org.
Okay. So like a few other standouts, that I like listening to Rhythm and Love. Who Are You with Sierra Jamerson?
Yeah,
Worth It with my guy B-Boy Soul. I also saw that he did several remixes as well, and Match Made and Chargy.
yeah.
So feel free to
Favorite.
share some stories about those.
Worth it is just me talking about like, I may not be perfect as a person, but my love is worth it. I'm worth giving a shot. I'm worth taking a chance with. I'm worth the ups and downs and the imperfections may be there, but in the end, it's all worth it. Basically, talking about having self value and whatnot. Let's see. Chargy, one of my favorite songs, is basically a song about marriage, but not so much about marriage directly, because I had fun with the hook. I incorporate like things like when I was growing up, I used to play Nintendo, and we play Super Mario. So saying like, work you like Mario, never play you like
Uh-huh.
Mario. So I did that, and I incorporate that in the music. Just remembering my childhood while writing, and the featuring Big Wazy, which is a Nigerian-based artist that I worked with a few times. He was actually signed to my label because I have my own label as well,
Mm-hmm.
and not anymore. But he was one of the first artists I had signed, so we still connect with each other. And I said, "Hey man, check out this song. I can hear you on it. What do you think?" He's like, "Oh my god, I love it. I'm gonna write a verse, send it back to you." So he did that. Match Made, featuring Temi Owasa, also Nigerian artist, was once signed to Olamide's label. Now she's independent. It was also very interesting working with her. She did a great job with the feature. She sang in Yoruba and English, and I love the blend. And the song with Sierra Jamerson is more about. It reminds me of Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. When you're basically having a conversation with yourself, and you can ask either yourself this question, or you can ask somebody else the question: Who are you to point the hand when your hands are not clean? Basically, that was the whole foundation of the song, and that's where all the ideas came from, revolving around everything else.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, this is a question I like to ask during interviews, and you sort of walked me into it. And that's what do you see when you look in the mirror?
I see, I see a young lady that has a lot of dreams and aspirations. I see somebody that is still growing, and I see somebody that loves music, loves art, and also is experiencing a lot of hardship at the same time, and has a few obstacles like battling mental health issues and stuff like that. But overall, I see a great person.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, like with Rihanna Rich and Rich Life, you tackled topics such as unemployment and bipolar disorder. Um, how do you how do you use your music as a platform to address those social and personal issues? And what impact do you hope to have on listeners?
I basically talk about it in mainly in interviews. I didn't really say anything about being having bipolar disorder in the songs per se, but
Mm-hmm.
because I wrote the songs at the hospital, they still are connected to the issue itself, or I should say my mental health. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And my fans, how can they connect? I mean, they'll understand the fact that I have a story to tell. I come from somewhere. I come from a place where there's a lot going on, where I've been through a lot, and my story, when I tell it, you can either relate or you feel. You can either relate or you feel my pain, or you feel what I'm going through, or you say, "Wow, I feel that. I can relate, and I'm inspired, or I'm moved by what you just said."
Okay. What's something about you that people would find most surprising?
Um, that's a good question. People find most inspiring. Most inspiring or most surprising?
Surprising.
Oh, surprising.
Oh yeah.
I don't watch TV.
Okay. A lot of people would say that's a good thing because of, especially the news, avoiding all the negativity that's on the news every day. So besides writing, then what do you do to kill time?
I listen to music. I go to TikTok. I go on TikTok lives. I connect with people all over the world, and they usually end up saying, "Wow, you're pretty cool. I'll follow you," or "We should connect with each other. Hey, let's be friends. I want to be your friend. Let's go. Let's exchange WhatsApp numbers." And I just connect with people. I don't spend too much time on social media, but when I do, I go to TikTok or I go to Instagram, but I don't stay on Instagram too long. I just scroll, I like stuff, support my friends, posts and stuff like that. But TikTok is where I'm hanging out most of the time.
Right. So, which country are you most looking forward to performing in?
I want to perform in Nigeria. I want to perform in UK and LA at Coachella. Rolling Out Loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so just as we prepare to wrap things up, just talk about what's next for you. Obviously, we had the debut album. What's the next single? Any tours coming? You said you have a label. Are you looking to sign artists? What's next for you?
Basically, what's next for me is I have a new single coming out, and we have EDM version of Bad Thing for the disco, by Dirty Disco remix, and that's gonna be for the clubs, that techno, and the single called Voodoo, which is continuation Bad Thing. Yeah.
All right, feel free to plug your socials and where we can find Rhythm and Love.
You can find Rhythm and Love on all streaming platforms. You can find me on all social media platforms at Trinisha Brown. That's TRINISHABROWNE. Brown with an E at the end.
All right, Trinisha Brown, Rhythm and Love, out now for Stop, Look, and Listen. I'm your host, LeTroy Gardner. See you next week. Peace and blessings.